Take a moment and ask yourself these questions. Have you ever felt like your glass is half empty? Like the cards are stacked against you and nothing seems to go your way? Have you ever done without for a period of time, whether it be something tangible or emotional, only to get it back with a newfound appreciation that should have been present all along? Has there ever been someone or something that was lacking your attention, only for you to realize how much you actually value having in your life after it is too late? Have you ever caught yourself in a taking for granted moment and say, you know what? I should be more appreciative of this? If you answered yes to one or all of these questions, congratulations, because you're human, and being human is okay. We don't always get it right, as we're not meant to. If your glass is half empty, you either need to focus on what you do have or learn to empty completely and refill again. If you have done without only to receive back with newfound appreciation, then you are lucky and should show value where value is due. If you had someone or something where your attention was lacking only to see value after it is too late, then seek out the lesson and learn from it. If you catch yourself in a taking for granted moment and make corrections mid-thought, then you are ahead of most and wise. Often, we only realize what we have after it is too late. If we can maintain the understanding that everything in life is finite, then maybe we can see through the nebula of what doesn't matter and train ourselves to focus on and cherish what does. See, impermanence is all-encompassing, and it whispers to us in the fleeting moments of life, from the kind words of a friend to the ephemeral beauty of a sunset or the final page of a cherished book. Nothing in life is permanent, yet if we look closely, we will see that we do not value some things as much as we should, and it is usually what we should value most. If we evaluate our daily lives, there are many areas we could identify that maintain our focus while not contributing to an overall sense of health and well-being for ourselves and others. By maintaining a continuous sense of mindfulness, we will be living in the moment with a strong ability to govern our own thoughts, feelings, and emotions. This enables us to better appreciate others in the world around us. Here are 2 thought experiments to try while contemplating impermanence, and these can be layered anywhere in daily life. Number 1, observe and appreciate the small details. I'm sure many of you drink coffee and some like to visit coffee shops. Let's consider the realization that today could be your last visit to your favorite coffee shop, one that you frequent daily. Most likely this isn't the case, but the reality is we don't know what tomorrow will bring, and living for today should be the focus. What is known is that the impermanence clock is ticking and there are no guarantees outside of that. Now, as this thought crosses your mind while you're in the coffee shop, you are suddenly more attuned to the array of senses that will soon be memories. The subtle bell that chimes upon entry, the eclectic decor that lines the interior, mental snapshots of smiles from the workers who greet you, and even the silent company of patrons, each absorbed in their digital worlds infused with coffee, tea, and pastel-colored macarons. The aroma of freshly ground coffee and the various sounds of the espresso machine take on a new significance in your mind. You are present and in the moment. With impermanence, you will remember to take time to enjoy the richness around you that often goes unnoticed. When you are this tuned in, it is almost as if time slows down. if your experience came with an expiration date, if you could freeze frame the idea that this was fleeting, would it deepen your engagement and appreciation for what might have been another routine day? Many people probably think, well, I do this already. Yeah, maybe that's true. I would say the vast majority of us are busy thinking about the email we need to send later that day, a social media post from a week ago, that thing we want to buy that we don't need, or a negative comment from someone in the past. Checking the baggage at the door and staying focused in the present does require effort at times. So remember to remind yourself, check the baggage on the way in, and do so at that birthday party, or at the park, or at dinner with family. Anywhere you are can have more of your focus, and every passing minute is one less minute than you had a minute ago. Number 2, look for beauty or a lesson in all situations. Now, let's imagine, as you step out of the coffee shop to begin your walk home, the sky unexpectedly opens to torrential downpour. The kind of rain where every droplet comes with drenching weight. Though not life-threatening, and there is only 10 blocks or so to walk home, it isn't the kind of weather you normally walk through. Knowing your umbrella is at home, an immediate negative emotion is cast upon you. And in this imaginary example, there is no rideshare app or taxi we can call on. It is either wait or walk. Now, if we pause and view this situation through the lens of impermanence, it could be the last time you walk through the rain without an umbrella. And a situation often met with annoyance could turn into something truly worth appreciating and remembering. As you begin your trek, the raindrops trace cold, wet paths across your face, soaking through your clothes, making every step toward shelter a desperate hurry. Yet, in the realm of impermanence, this discomfort transforms into a poignant encounter with nature's unpredictability and beauty. The sensation of being utterly drenched, the sound of rain pounding on the pavement, even the squelch of water in your shoes become vividly memorable. This shift in perspective turns a typically negative experience into a moment of profound connection with the world around you, underscoring the value of even our most trying experiences through the lens of impermanence. Now, I'm not advocating that every negative experience can have a dramatic shift for good, but how many things that impact us daily could be altered in some way with a shift in perspective? Remember that time you had a tough interaction at work and it ruined your day and was the topic of dinner conversation at home for the next week? What about the time you were stuck in a long line with impatience nipping at your heels? How about the end of a friendship due to a disagreement years ago? When the fleeting aspect is applied to these situations, we realize that what is causing the negative emotions from us is really not as significant as we initially thought, and can usually be overcome. You may have heard that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it that makes the difference. Seeing beauty or a lesson in all situations takes practice, and if you remember this daily, it will begin to grow in strength. In the grand tapestry of life, impermanence colors every thread, challenging us to find beauty and meaning in both the joyous and the difficult. It invites us to live more fully, love more deeply, and embrace the ever-changing dance of existence with open hearts and minds. It is the philosophical and spiritual acknowledgement that everything in the universe, from the smallest particle to the grandest galaxy, is in a constant state of flux and transformation. In physics, the law of entropy describes the inevitable progression of systems from order to disorder. This principle can be observed in the changing seasons, the cycle of life and death in nature, the aging process in humans, and even be seen in a melting block of ice. It is a universal law that applies to everything physical, suggesting that change is the only constant. On the subject of ideas and emotions, impermanence equally applies. Have you ever had a negative thought resulting from an experience only to feel noticeably better as time passed? Yet, the experience itself has not changed. This is the result of impermanence. Thoughts, feelings, and emotions come and go, shaping our perceptions and experiences, but never lasting forever. Even our identities, which we often consider static, are subject to change as we grow and evolve over time. There are many religious and spiritual traditions, along with philosophical schools that incorporate the concept of impermanence into their teachings. Here are a few examples with corresponding quotes for each. Christianity communicates throughout the Bible the transient nature of all things physical and that everything lives and dies. What is most important is faith, beliefs, virtues, and the actions that follow. All go to the same place. All come from dust, and to dust all return. Ecclesiastes 3:20. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. Matthew 6:19. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. 2 Corinthians 4:18. Buddhism places a significant emphasis on understanding impermanence as a path to enlightenment. The Buddha taught that attachment to the impermanent is the root of suffering, and that true liberation comes from accepting the transient nature of all things. All conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. Buddha. It is not impermanence that makes us suffer. What makes us suffer is wanting things to be permanent when they are not. Thich Nhat Hanh. The day is ending and our life is one day shorter. Let us look carefully at what we have done. Let us practice diligently, putting our whole heart into the path of meditation. Let us live deeply each moment and in freedom, so the time doesn't slip away meaninglessly. Thich Nhat Hanh. Stoicism of ancient Greek philosophy encourages followers to utilize art of life thinking and maintain a sense of detachment from things outside their control. Change is the only constant in life. Heraclitus. Everything's destiny is to change, to be transformed, to perish, so that new things can be born. Marcus Aurelius. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Seneca. By focusing on one's inner virtues and accepting the inevitability of change, it is believed individuals can achieve tranquility and resilience in the face of life's uncertainties. Even if you have no religious background or spiritual interest, the principle and universal law of impermanence can still apply in your life. Life's precious moments are always fleeting, like a never-ending scale. The awareness of this has profound implications on our behavior and thought processes. On one hand, it can lead to existential dread and anxiety as individuals grapple with the inevitability of loss and the transient nature of their experiences. On the other hand, it can be freeing after separation. As hard as it may be, only when you have invited in and acknowledged a change in seasons will you truly be able to grow and move forward correctly. This realization can be unsettling at first, prompting a reevaluation of one's values and attachments. Recognizing this encourages mindfulness and appreciating the beauty and uniqueness of each experience without clinging to it. This awareness can foster a deeper sense of gratitude, compassion, and empathy as individuals recognize the shared vulnerability of all beings to the forces of change. In order to live with impermanence, it involves cultivating a balanced perspective on life's transient nature. This can be achieved through practices such as mindfulness meditation, which trains the mind to observe the present moment without attachment or judgment, building strong relationships where the act of being more mindful can be openly discussed, helps to stay present while assisting others do the same. Staying present in the moment and being self-aware will cultivate a stronger mind to deal with the ebb and flows as we traverse through life. My goal with this message is that by embracing impermanence, it can lead to a richer, more fulfilling life. It challenges us to live fully, to love deeply, and to let go gracefully when the time comes. By accepting the inevitable flow of change, we open ourselves to a world of possibilities, finding beauty and meaning in the impermanent tapestry of existence. In closing, I challenge you all to find those in your life you value and to let them know that you do. To observe and appreciate the small details and to look for beauty or a lesson in all situations. The next time you find yourself sitting in your favorite coffee shop or dredging through the metaphorical downpour, what thoughts will arise and what will you choose to focus on? The choice is, and has always been, yours.